Hey guys, I got a story for you guys. Alright, let me turn down this music a bit. Actually, I have an idea. Let's put on an artist that doesn't have lyrics so I can find it. Ah, John 5. Bam. They're not, the words aren't gonna confuse me. Okay. Whoops. There we go. So here's the story. A friend of mine's gonna come over when another friend of mine is already over for a couple hours, and I'm like, hey, you wanna come over? Oh, I shouldn't go anywhere while my thermostat's broken. Well, friend, Captain K is over here. He's gonna fix your thermostat. He'll do it. Really? Okay, I'll drive out. Well, after we were waited for like an hour and a half, he was doing something already, and he was, he lives like 35 miles away, so he had to come through Lebanon, whatever, come through a town. Anyways, did it get here till dark? Ready to work on the gasket? Well, let's give it 10 minutes to cool down. 10-20 minutes. So it cools down. Anyways, so then they work on this car, and it's a 96 or 95 Ford Escort. And so we're trying to, so first of all, there's a lot of things to take, there's things to get out of the way of a Ford Escort to take a thermostat out. You got the air intake, that's got to go, the tube. Not the actual throttle plate. God, that wouldn't make any sense. No, the tube. Okay, air intake tube, and then you got your coil pack, because this Escort is like really high end. No distributor. A coil pack. This is the same car that doesn't have a tachometer. It has a 5-digit odometer. It has roll-up windows. You know, it's very basic, except for two things. That coil pack, and actually has anti-lock brakes. An Escort, yeah, who knew? Who'd have thought? Who'd have thunk? Kerplunk. So, after the coil's out, then you got to get the bracket out that holds the coil on top of it. 4 little bolts about that long. After that's out, then you're at the thermostat. Now, normally this, even though it's a little more difficult than what it should be on like my car, my Subaru, it's like a small block Chevy or a straight 6 Chevy, you know, it's super simple, easy. Right on top. There's only 3 vacuum lines on top of it. You don't need to move them, but if you want extra room, you can unplug the 3 vacuum lines, no big deal. So easy, I love it. Now, so we put the thermostat in, put it all together, and it still leaks. Now, a friend of mine was paying another friend of mine to do this. I was pretty much helping, I guess. I was holding a light or fetching something or whatever. Yeah. Anyways, so the first night, oh shit, it's still leaking. Well, I guess we needed a gasket. Well, I guess I didn't think of it until on the first day. But the second day, I realized, well, the first day you needed a new gasket. I didn't use a new gasket. Yeah. So thinking that would work. No. So day 2, go get the gasket. Come back after they're done with work. And they come out at like 6 o'clock, like just when it's hitting dusk, just when the sun's like, you got maybe half an hour of light left or something like that, maybe. And most of the time spent working on the car is in the dark by lamp and flashlight. And yeah, it was ridiculous. Okay, so after they came out here, and I came out, and I'm like, hey, blah, 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 blah. Got the gasket, okay. Put the gasket on. after they take everything back off again for a second time, and then put the gasket on, it still leaks. And by the time you do all of this, it's like, I want to say, was it? I don't know. They were here till like 1 or midnight, or it was pretty late. I think I didn't get to bed till like 1. I mean, it was pretty late, and I should have like recorded this whole thing, but it was so much shit to like take in and to remember. It was crazy. Anyways, getting off track. So it's still leaking after on the gasket. So then they realized, oh fuck, there's a crack, and I have it right here in the housing. Okay, this is the where the thermostat goes, right here, and this is where it would sit. Like if you're looking down at the hood, it would be like this. Okay, if you're looking down at the hood, because this part right here would be faced towards the firewall. Anyways, the crack is right here. There we go, I can see what I'm doing. Shit, I lost it. Okay. Right there. So hard to see on that camera though. Alright, can you see that? It's a hair. Shit. Oh, I know what you do. I just turn the little light. There we go. Shit. It was right here. But you probably can't see that. Yep, there you go, right there. And I thought at first, oh, Cody, you probably over-tightened it because it kept on leaking, and so you tightened it more and more. But then, it's like, let's see. So that crack goes all the way from here to there. There to here. You can faintly see it. There you go, right there. And then right there, you can see there's a little groove where the crack kind of started. So maybe, I don't know. I don't want to believe that that my friend started the leak. I'm not blurring out any last names at least, but because it was already losing water, and the thermostat in it was broken. Little tab thing prong on the side was broken. So maybe, and then when he goes down the highway, the water's okay. But once he goes to a driveway or he's putting around town, that's when it gets hot. And I couldn't believe he was driving all over the place. And then the one day he came over to for me to inspect it, he picked up his couple of his friends from where he came from, where he lives, one town, came all the way back down to my town, well, outside my town, because I live in the country. Gets his friends, and then goes to Albany, and it goes back to me. And I'm like, wait, your car's overheating, but you're driving all over the fuck. Sense makes not. Anyways, And I said it's either your radiator or your thermostat. I don't see any water coming out anywhere, or I don't see any steam or any oil in your water or anything like that, so I don't think it's your head gasket. But yeah, it was the thermostat. Now I'm losing track what I was talking about. Okay, so we found out there's a crack in there, and now he's flipping out. Now he's like, oh shit, this is a piece of shit car, blah 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 blah. I'm like, dude, it's the only major thing I've ever been wrong, if you count, unless you want to count your ignition and your rear wiper not working. Ooh. And then he's saying your windshield and the tires. Wow. Okay, windshield, that's bad luck. That happened to a Lamborghini. Or the most reliable Toyota Camry, you know, it's a windshield. Same with tires. It's called, you know, you drive a car, tires kind of wear. Wow. Then, okay, so after this thing on day 2, we go pick up, me and my friend, we go pick up, we go check out a truck. So we get to truck because his car is barely together. Okay, this Honda Accord has almost 400,000 miles. He never drives outside town except for work, which is like more towards country way than it is big town way, so it's kind of less of a drive. So we got I think it was an 88 or 87 or 86 Isuzu pickup. I call it a poop because it says P-U-P for pup, but I make fun of it and call it poop. It's a nice truck, $450. Automatic, which sucks, but all one color, runs as drives. It just needs vacuum lines and tune up, you know, and it needs tags. I mean, it doesn't really need much. 230,000 miles on this truck. Now, I would have done a video, but I thought I was gonna see more of it, but whatever. I'll see it again. And it also needs door keys, like very small little stuff. We're talking. And this truck, it has a rough file because the vacuum lines aren't hooked up, but it didn't die, and it actually runs better than his car, which, no surprise, it has half the mileage. Anyways, so he bought the truck, go back to his house, park the truck, go to Home Depot where my friend works, and then like a quarter way there, it sounds like a backfire. No, actually it was rubber popping, flying from the tire. Then we go to a couple more miles, there's a Cottonwood store, and it happens again. He goes, wow, I just saw a piece of rubber flying away. Well, it's still in there, I guess, keep going. Well, that was a bad decision. Well, it didn't really matter. I mean, we only made it another, what, half a mile? Something like that. And then that's when the tire just went boom. And I think it went flat. I can't remember, but I know just chunks of the rubber just flying all over. And he swapped it out for another crappy tire. We're talking his tire's like wobbly like this. There's pieces of rubber coming out. It looks overinflated, but it's not. It's just breaking down that bad. And I was with him, but he drove it, limped or nursed this tire to Albany, which is about 13 or 12 miles, I think. Yeah, no, 8 miles, probably 12 miles from our house. 8 miles from where we were, 7, so like 8 miles to Home Depot, and got my friend that, you know, his car's getting worked on. And so then we get his sister's boyfriend to bring out a Honda tire. Took like half an hour or whatever, no big deal. Luckily he had warm Jack in the Box burgers, and luckily I didn't get sick, because I don't know if they had mayonnaise, but I didn't care, I was starving. And it was actually pretty good. I was actually pretty happy with it. It was a great burger. Cold burger doesn't bother me if there's no mayonnaise. It was great. Very thankful for it. Then we get the tire on, and then we go. And then just because we don't hear wobbling from the last tire doesn't mean there's not going to be other noises. There's wheel cylinder making noise. There's another noise, another noise. Okay, so I'm making it halfway back home, and then I see the oil light going bleep, 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 bleep. Or it doesn't blink. Yeah, blinking, but it doesn't make noise. Yeah, oil light. Nice, it works. It's 400,000 miles. That's cool. Okay, I know this video's going long. I need to get this out. Somebody's gonna want to. This is an interesting story. I want to tell everybody. At least 3 people out there who's gonna watch this. Anyways, so we're like halfway to my house, and 2 cop cars go shoom shoom. No sirens. They're just on hot pursuit somewhere. And right then, he pulls over after the guardrail, puts in some oil, some water, some Walmart oil, and some, well, water. And, okay, so now we got some oil in there. Now, at first I thought, at least we have oil in a dipstick. But that was when the car was still hot. So, how much oil can possibly be on a Honda when you pull it up and you see this much on the dip, like just a spot on the dipstick when it's hot? Probably a cup, right? Not much oil. This Honda is a testament to Hondas, that Hondas are great cars. This has freaking like 399,648,000 miles. This thing's still trucking. I can't believe this. All the gears work. The headlights still pop up. This is an amazing little car. However, I think it overheated one day or something, and that caused the temperature gauge to stop working, and he hasn't replaced it. And in my opinion, the temperature gauge is the most important gauge to have working in your car. Now, speed, that is not important. Just keep up with traffic with other people. If you're not going too fast, you're not gonna get in trouble. Tachometer, no, that's just that's cool to just know how fast your engine's going. It's not important. Oil pressure, that's nice to know. That's second important. Okay, that's number 2. But if your oil light works as good as that Honda does, I'm not gonna say you don't need it, but almost. And then you got your battery gauge, which is not important because it either tells you if your battery's charging or not. However, if you have an idiot light, chances are it won't work because my dad's truck, technically my grandpa's, but anyways, battery failed on that. It's got a battery gauge. It didn't come on. Well, that's beside the point. It does have a battery gauge, and that does work. Anyways, so we put the fluids in, fire it back up, go back to my house, get back to work on this freaking Escort, and we probably got back. Let's see, pick him up at 6:30, probably 7ish, and then I think everything was already off. Oh no, everything was already off. No, wait. No, it wasn't. I can't remember now. Either it doesn't matter. Air intake was off or on, whatever. We got the replacement part of this, which my dad said it was $5. Ben said it was $10, and then we had to pay more for someone to remove it because he wasn't going to do it. They've got the tools and the whatever and the speed. It's actually, it's the thermostat Escort. It's not a super sucky deal if you got to do it. Just remember this. Step 1, remember the gasket. Don't be stupid. Don't be like us. Remember the gasket. 2, don't over tighten. If you got snug, stop. Don't even budge it. Just stop. 3. Is there a 3? Don't over tighten it. Oh, clean your gasket. Don't put on a gasket over this. Look at this. I'll just turn on this light here. Whoops. There we go. You can see right there. There's still a gasket on here. And that was probably why it was still leaking the first time. You know, this is fucked up. This took 3 days to do a thermostat on a Ford Escort. 3 days! 3 days, okay. 3 days is like when you... I mean, it wasn't 3 days in total hours, but it was like... at least 9 hours or 10 hours, or it was fucking ridiculous is what it was. Now if I'm looking at this right now and I'm thinking, I don't want to be a dick, but if my friend would have cleaned the gasket off of that, it wouldn't have leaked much. Now I see this crack here that goes around here. Now that could have been because of him tightening it, but then it was leaking before, so I'm like tossed between a rock and a hard place, or a CD and a vinyl, or a cassette and an 8-track. I don't know what you want to call it. That's why I was leaking the first time really bad, because that's what I did with my car. Okay, let me get to my car in part 2. This is going way too long. Anyways, so we get the new part, stick it on, bolt it together, everything's good. Then it gets to 1 o'clock, and my friend, he's beat. He's doing all this for $10, and I'm like, man, I can't believe you agreed to this for $10. $10, 3 days. You're a saint. I mean, you're like, I mean, he wasn't like calm during all this. He was cussing out this Escort. He's saying this is a piece of shit car, you know, all the typical guy things you do when you work on a car. Me, I'm not like that where I work on a car. I might say fuck, or, you know, come on, you know, I'll say expletives or curse out the car, but I'm not gonna say it is a piece of shit car. It is far from a piece of shit car. That is a nice car. If you ever want to get a nice American-made car, a Ford Escort is a great car. Okay? Just because you have to take off a coil and an intake and a bracket, ooh, 3 things, that's nothing. At least you don't have to jack up the motor like in a Cutlass Cruiser. Yeah, that's what my dad had to deal with, and he didn't know you're supposed to jack up the motor, so it's still sitting there. Alright, so let me get back on track. So we get this on, everything is put together, friend leaves at 1 o'clock, and then it's wake up my friend that was sleeping twice, which I was working that day too, and I was doing manual labor, and he was just being a store guy. I mean, he might have been doing it for earlier, longer time, but I'm actually doing physical labor. I don't know. I'm just saying, I was helping doing this. His car, I think he should have been, like, you know, helping. I would have, if I'm paying somebody dirt cheap to be spilling their time, you know, coming home straight after work after breaking their ass, you know, working, whatever. Anyways. So then what's left after he leaves, gotta put in coolant, and then the underskirt spoiler thing, you know, the little piece of plastic goes up underneath the car for aerodynamics. You don't need it, but if you take it off, you might as well put it on. I mean, it's not like my car where the bumper's fucked up and, you know, it's not gonna matter. In fact, I don't even know if my car has anything underneath there. But yeah, so then he leaves, I wake him up, get him out there, he's gonna crawl underneath there to put the underskirt thing on while I dump the coolant into Gatorade bottles. He gets antifreeze in his eye, goes in the house. I'm like, fuck, I might as well put it together. 5 minutes later, I give up from looking for the screws. He comes back out, I go, did you take the screws with you? Yeah, well, I would have fixed it if you would have left me the screws, you know? Anyways, this was a fucked up deal. I mean, this was like a nightmare. I mean, it wasn't as much for me because it was kind of nice to have my friends over for a while, you know. Whatever, even if they are getting exhausted and pissed off after this car. But the sad part is it was not there, but the first guys, you know, the mechanics' decisions that led to this. Okay, if he would have looked at this the first day and go, oh, dude, you got a crack in this. we can clean this off, put the gasket on it. We'll take it on a test drive and see how well it holds up, and then after then if it holds up well, then you can go home, come back the next day, and when we'll go get another one of these without a crack, because honestly I can't fucking see it, this crack. Fuck, now where is, I mean, it's so small. There it is. It's just a hairline. It's just so ridiculous. That hairline. Anyways, that hairline crack, I don't think that could be dumping that much water. It was all cause this gasket. And anyways, so at the end of it, we put in the underskirt thing, and it took us like 5 minutes to figure out which way it goes on, because I thought, okay, look on the other side, see how that side matches up. Well, the Escort wants to be retarded and have a big underskirt thing in the middle that goes towards the left if you're standing in front of it, the right if you're in it, and then the one that's completely different, smaller, like that big, if you're sitting it on the driver's side, if you're standing in front of it on the right side. And we're like, where'd it go? Finally got it in. Okay, and then we got the antifreeze in. This took half an hour because we couldn't find a funnel. Partly my fault, because you go in the garage and, oh my god, I saw one the next day sitting right there in a pile of crap. Yeah. Could have used that. We could have had the coolant in like in 5 minutes versus the half an hour. I shit you not, half an hour. We had a bottle cut open perfectly, and I didn't want to feel like looking all over for a bottle or a plastic bottle. You know, not one. Yeah, it's funny. My friend, he was so tired and clueless because he's not a mechanic. He's not a car guy. I mean, he likes cars, but he's not a car guy. He's not a fix-it, do-it-yourselfer like. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. So he grabs a Rolling Rock bottle, thinking he's gonna pour it in there and then into the radiator. I don't know. And I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? I don't know, I'm just so tired. Okay, put it down. Anyways, so he grabs this little topper thing to like a Blizzard. Or, yeah, it's a little plastic thing goes on top of the Blizzard. It's like, how about this? I'm like, no, it won't work. It's, well, okay, let's see how it works. And I was holding it, and probably like that much coolant came down. Well, maybe that much, but a lot spilled out. But he was pouring it so slow. I shit you not, it took half an hour to do. Yeah. And then, so we got that in. And then I'm like, sayonara. Oh my god, that was ridiculous. This was the most ridiculous car repair ever. And I can't think of anything so simple to take so long a time. Now, it's a good thing that my friend noticed the crack, be it the second day versus the first day. That's what happens when you do things in dark. That's another thing. Tip number 4 for doing thermostats and heating and cooling problems. You want to make sure you're doing it in the daytime. If you're not going to do it in the daytime, try, for the love of God, to have lots of light and examine and clean your parts. You want to make sure that there's no cracks, no leaks, no fuck-ups. Or if your client, your buddy you're fixing your car for, or you, doesn't get stranded, or doesn't take another 2 days working on a car that's supposed to take half an hour to 45 minutes. I say half an hour because literally that's how long it takes when you take the air intake off, then you bolt off, take off the coil, and then you bolt off, take off the bracket. It's a Fucking mess. Now, thanks for watching. I need to get you part 2 of what happened to my car.